My name is Giora Eshkol. I'm an artist and a teacher at PIXL VISN Media Arts Academy, Cologne, Germany. And today I'm going to show you how I teach my students to draw the face of human from even any possible way, easy, methodically, step by step, and then creating a template in which you can draw intuitively on top of it, and then you are free. Now, when I was young, I was struggling for a long time drawing intuitively, and I was lost. Once I got lucky and I found a mentor that was familiar with this technique of Andrew Loomis. His name was Victor Honigman. He taught me this method. Then it was so easy and fun to draw methodically and intuitively together. So during the year after that, I was teaching that, and only success. So this is how it goes, methodically, step by step. It goes like that. The first thing that you have to do is to make a circle. Now, the circle don't have to be perfect, but good enough. Now, to create the circle nicely, we need also a center. This is a radius have to be equal in all sides of that curvature of the circle. And then what you do is making a cross in the center of that circle. This is the step number 2. Circle first and then a cross. Now what we want to do is establishing some kind of proportions for that template. So we take the upper part, divide it into a half, and then another half. Then you make some adjustment here, so it's going to be really equal. If it's not equal, like this, it's going to be messy. So we want it absolutely equal. Not absolutely, but good enough. So this is good enough. And then I'm adding 2 parts at the bottom. So I have something that looks like that. This is, you can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody can make a circle, anybody can make a cross, anybody can make that proportions parts of it. And then you go to the next step. The next step is you divided the face into proportional parts that are equal. And since the time of Leonardo da Vinci, most of the artists follow this, that the parts of the chin and the nose and the brow and the hairline are equal. And this is exactly why we divide it like this. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10 parts. So 10 parts, if I take 3 and 3 and 3, I have 3 and 3, this is equal parts, and then the third for the top of the head. So here's the top of the head. So this is going to be my hairline, and this is going to be my brow line, which is, and this is going to be the nose line and the chin line. Now that we have that, what we want to do is create the eye line and the mouth line. Now the eye line, which I'm going to mark as a broken line, this is eye line, and then at the bottom of the circle, is going to be my mouth line. So you can see that the mouth position is actually 1/3 of the distance between the nose and the chin. So this is my mouth line. And this is the proportion part of it. Now, the next thing that I would like to do is to drop a line from the brow line just down. And the thing is, now you can see that it looks like a skull. And that means you're on a good way. And then we like to start putting the parts together. So like the eye, mouth, nose, and what have you. I would like to start with the brow line. So over the brow, into half of the way to the eye line, which is this part over here. This is the deepest part here. Then it's go up to the nose and back to the brow. So I go up here to create the brow. And then from here, I'm going to put down a nose line. Now, the distance here is just about the same distance there. And we need, for the nostril, another half of it on the other side. So we have it like that, and then you go vertically up the same distance as from the base of the nose up, like in a square manner, like this, and create the nostrils up to that point here. Just a line for now. Later on, we're going to go to the details of each part of the body. Now, I'm clipping the nose in a circular fashion, like that. And this is good enough for the template of the nose. I erase the lines that I don't need right now and continue on with the front of the mouth. Now, the place where I wanted to start at the mouth is just a little bit forward from that baseline of the nose. Just a little bit. So we eventually have like halfway from that point to the nostrils and the tip of the nose. Now, I'm making it a little bit curvy, 2/3 of the way to the mouth, little bit curvy, and then curve the other way around to the mouth line, this way. This line is not necessary anymore. Now, the bottom lip, again, I make it like a circle, and then I extend it with straight line, so it's going to kind of reach almost the line of the chin. And then I'm making like a shallow triangle or an arrow, make it a little bit round, and I have that. The next thing that I would like to do, but against the order it doesn't, not so important, is to take that point where the nose line is hitting the circle and go vertically up through the brow line. So the ears are positioned between the bottom of the nose and the brow, in that part, that third part of the center. And then half of this distance, I make a cube, and in this cube, I'm going to transplant the ear later. Again, one of those things why these equal parts are so important, because what I want to have here is an average person, not a unique person. So once I have an average person, then any deviation of that averageness is going to create a unique person. So if I'm going to modify that part, it's going to have center part that's going to make a person unique, or make it smaller is going to make a person unique, and so on. But the idea is to create something that is absolutely average, and then you can look for the differences from the average. So you have a point of reference in which you can start to exploring, looking at people and say, oh, this person have this longer, or this smaller, or whatever. But you must have a point of reference. This is why it's important to create something that is absolutely average. Now, it doesn't mean that this is an average person for real, but you have to have something as close as possible to something that is average, and then from there to go to the exploration of uniqueness of human face. Okay, so now this line is no longer necessary for us for now, and I would like to continue with the jaw. Now, the jaw have this L shape from the ear into the mouth, and there is a broken part here, an angled part here, right there. And if you look, it's right on the mouth line. So if this is the mouth, and this is the jaw that comes from the front of the ear, you can take it, and this is where it's breaking in angle, and it's going toward the chin. Now, where it's meet that line of the chin is kind of, again, the same distance as this. So the chin is going to be something like that here. Now, with that we have the jaw, we can eliminate this line over here and go for the eyes. The position of the eye is very important because you don't want the eye here or there. You don't know where they're going to be. So the clue to that is a parallel line to the nose. Go parallel, and then you make like an X. So this line of the eye is actually made from a sphere. So this is the bottom of the sphere. This is why it's curved like this. So now that we have that, we create the lower eyelid and the upper eyelid. And we're going to give them some depth. Make sure that they are forward from the line of the iris or the eyeball so they can close. If they're going to be too close here, the eyes will be stuck. So we have the upper and lower eyelid, and then I'm going to make the hood that's going into direction of the eyebrow. This is where the hood is going. But it's going in a little curvature, so here it's getting closer and then it goes up. And this is the limit of the eyebrow. Halfway, it's broken. So we have some kind of, I call it like head of the eyebrow, body of the eyebrow, and tail of the eyebrow. And this is how I break it. I break the eyebrow into kind of different shapes of the eyebrow itself. So once I have the eyebrow, this is the important part where it's breaking. Why? Because in this part, the skull is breaking in. So this part, you want to kind of emphasize. It depends on the drawing. Sometimes you want to emphasize it strongly, sometimes not. Anyway, once you have the eye position correctly, you drop the line into the mouth, and this is going to be where the mouth is stopped, or the edges of the mouth. Now, once I have that stopped, I can continue the line of the mouth, and I start from the bottom lips, and I continue in a circular way halfway through to the stop, come down like a sinusoid, and up, back again, and to that stop this way. So I have now the mouth established. Another important line that comes after that you want to have is the cheek line. And this is coming from the top of the nostrils, and it's going around the stop of the mouth and joining. It depends as you age, it's look more prominent, this line here. But for young people, it's broken like that. But the direction is to the chin. And then what you want to curve it the other way around, close to the nose. To curve it, so it's going to take the curvature of the cheek, sort of. Okay. So we have that. I'm going to make the base of the eye socket, and then the bone right here. Another thing is you want the line of the upper eyelid to dominate the line of the bottom eyelid. And this is because of gravity. Usually the eyes are ending like this. But when you have this gravity, this line is falling down for the upper lid, so it's become dominating the bottom. So you want to make sure that if the eyes are not open wide, the upper line is the line that is dominating the upper eyelid. And now, for the ears, it goes like this. I know there is a lot of people and artists struggling with the ears, and it's so simple to do. Actually, what you want to do is like 3 or 4 steps. That is very easy. You have a rectangle here that is kind of like 2 cubes, one on top of the other. And then you take half of the way from the height and half of the way from the width, connect it together, clip it. So now you have something that I call a frame. So once you have the frame, you can continue to the next thing to make it easy. And this is the leption of the ear. And you want to make a complete circle nicely and kind of taking the whole area. Don't just do a small one. Make a big one and nicely, like that. And the third one is a 9, like a number 9, but not closed number 9, but number 9 open, and I show you. It's going like this to halfway through of the ear, and you go like that, leave it open. Because here you have another, this will go like a cylinder around and then blend with the inside of the ear. So here you have another cylinder that is going this way, like kind of a trumpet or trombone or something like this. It's also some kind of a cylinder, go like this, and then it's go a little bit inside this cylinder. So you have shadow here and a little bit of a wrinkle here as it goes inside this cylinder. So this is going to be a deep point here, and this is going to be deep as it's going inside. Now to complete the ear, you need something that I think is protecting the ear from wind. So I call it a windshield. It's like this. And then this is dark, as at that point, this is the point in which point of entry into the inner ear. So this is going to be dark, and voila. You have the structure of the ear in a very simple way explained, and everybody can do it once you get used to this idea. Now we're going to get into the details of the ear, the eye, the nose, and the mouth, the brow, the hair, and everything in details later, in a very detailed fashion. But right now what we want to have template, and anybody can do that in a very, very easily. Now, the next thing that I just want to finish a little bit of the throat. I'm just drop a line here for the neck muscle. I drop it line a little bit diagonally and connected this with a little bit of Adam apple. This is good enough for now. The last thing that I would like here to finish the template is the hair baseline. And this is going to come from this center line and center of this windshield, so-called. You want to make this front a little bit roundish and here straight, just before the ear, not touching the ear. There is a little space. And then you go around the ear with a little space and just clip the ear at the edge and go in 45 degrees. There's also continuation of the neck. So this is going to be the hair baseline. And from this point of the eyebrow, you go 45 degrees a little bit, halfway, and little curvature toward the hairline. This is where the hair is going. So this area is where the hair are going to grow later on. Just simplify this. It's going to look like that. And this is how easy you can draw the profile of the head, and you can do it from memory very easily, and then you can specify it. You can make it look like anybody that you really want, man or woman or this person or that person. Make uniqueness into that, change few features. You can make the mouth smaller, the nose bigger or smaller, make it up or down, position the eyes a little bit to just capture some uniqueness in a person. But once you understand this proportion importance, then you start looking at people and you can say, oh, this person is this like that, and this is bigger, this is smaller, because you have a point of reference. You have a point in which you can compare to your template and say, oh, it's bigger or smaller. If you don't have a point of reference, you lost.